Tokyo is one of the richest and most densely populated cities on the planet. With over 33 million of the most resilient, motivated, and well-organized workers. Every morning when rush hour begins, the city swells and the sidewalks overflow. And with so many more people here, there's a lot more trash and a lot more work for these guys.
作業員の大川です。
作業員の堀です。運転手の成島です。
This proud Tokyo sanitation crew collects garbage in Shibuya, one of the busiest neighborhoods in the city. Every year, Shibuya generates over 120,000 tons of trash. These guys are good, efficient and serious about their trash, yet always polite.
There are 208 people working every day to collect garbage, and 88 trucks working every day in Shibuya.
One driver and 2 collectors for every truck.
Why 2? Well, 2 may be needed when picking up heavy garbage by hand. Also, Shibuya has many narrow streets, so they can help direct the driver when maneuvering in tight places or backing up.
Don't let appearances fool you. These pint-sized trucks can compact over 2 tons of trash in a single load. With their truck's belly full, the team heads for the nearest incinerator.
私は豊島清掃工場長の是松と申します。よろしくお願いいたします。
The Toshima plant is one of Tokyo's 21 impeccably clean incinerators. Fed by a fleet of 300 trucks, it devours over 330 tons of garbage a day. The polished steel doors and spotless floor of Toshima's garbage depot testify to the Japanese love for order and cleanliness. The garbage is weighed and then dumped into a hopper. A crane lifts it into the incinerator. Lead engineer, Masayuki Sudo.
As the garbage is fed from the hopper to this chamber, sand is mixed in and heated to 600 degrees. As it enters the incinerator, it is immediately burned to ash. The temperature rises to about 900 degrees.
The Toshima incinerator is a minor masterpiece of technology, but no accident. Its design was enhanced thanks to some very tough neighborhood activists.
Those who operate waste incineration plants constantly hear concerns expressed by the local population regarding smells, toxic emissions, and so on.
The neighbors had cause for concern. In the 60s and 70s, Japan's economy skyrocketed, often at the expense of the city's public health and the environment. So the Toshima residents protested and forced the city to install noise suppression devices, build a 210-meter smokestack high enough to carry vapors and toxic particles away from the neighborhood, a health center for the elderly, and our favorite, a garbage-heated swimming pool. Here, the waters are heated to a steamy 32 degrees Celsius by tens of thousands of tons of burning garbage. Heating up a swimming pool is no sweat for the Toshima incinerator. What really gets this furnace hot is powering generators, enough juice to light up 9,000 Japanese homes full of computers and gadgets for a year. Tokyo's incinerators vaporize a lot of trash. But what they can't burn, metals, ash, and sand from the incinerators, they dump into Tokyo Bay. This is nothing new. 400 years ago, when Tokyo was called Edo, its 1 million residents dumped their trash into the bays and waterways. Over the centuries, so much trash has been dumped that 6 massive islands of garbage have risen out of the water, and the city has expanded its landmass by over 87 square kilometers. But today, things are changing. Only one garbage island is still open and growing, the Chubo landfill. Now, Mr. Tawara oversees the process here.
タワーラと申します。よろしくお願いします。
According to Mr. Tawara, almost 700 tons of ash and sand from Tokyo's incinerators and debris from construction sites is dumped here every day.
First, the incombustible garbage is buried in a sandwich configuration. After the dumped waste is 3 meters deep, it's covered with 50 meters of earth. Then another 3 meters of garbage, 50 meters of earth, and so on until the landfill is complete.
The layers put a tight wrap on all the trash, but not quite tight enough to keep a lid on all the juicy garbage fluids.
Our landfill sites are not allowed to disperse polluted water out into the sea. So we have various treatment facilities.
This plant digests the landfill's liquid trash and returns nothing but clean water to the bay. But trash at the landfill creates an even nastier byproduct, very explosive methane gas. Ventilation pipes release some of it, but most of the methane is harvested and used to power the landfill's facilities. Chubo is a model landfill, but its days are numbered. It will soon be filled to capacity. And like cities everywhere, Tokyo will have to find new and better ways to get rid of, reduce, and even reinvent its trash. This massive island of trash will be transformed into a lush green public space, just like some of Tokyo's other garbage aisles. Longtime Tokyo resident Mick Corliss.
We're on Tokyo Bay. This is a marina, and we are standing on Yume no Shima, or roughly translated, Dream Island. This is an island that was built of garbage as a way to store their trash and maybe make something useful out of it. And you can see around here there's a lot of greenery. We have this marina here. So this is unique land reclamation that you'll see if you come to Tokyo.
Dream Island was once the main garbage dump for all of Tokyo's trash. Now it's an urban oasis of tropical forests, baseball diamonds, and soccer fields.
It actually creates more land for the country, which is an added benefit, and it helps them to get rid of the waste without destroying their mountains, raising their mountains, digging holes, and building stinky landfills.
Making more land desperately needed in this overcrowded city. With a population of over 33 million, Tokyo's residents are always on the go. Rush hour is not for the faint of heart. And with most people spending 2 to 3 hours a day commuting, it might help explain Tokyo's obsession with vending machines.
Japan has more vending machines per capita than any other country in the world. The latest statistics I saw say that there are 1 for every 23 people in Japan.
You can buy almost anything from the 1.5 million vending machines that line Tokyo's streets. Soft drinks, beer, cigarettes, whiskey, steaming hot ramen and udon bowls, magazines, and even live lobsters.
Buying a can of hot ramen noodle soup. It's a very cold evening in Tokyo, and this soup is 300 yen. which is a few dollars. When I'm ready to eat, I take the fork already attached. Don't even need to know how to use chopsticks. And as soon as I can get it out of its plastic, it's quite a bit of plastic in Japan.
Tokyo's vending machine culture is one of the world's prime culprits in the generation of plastic disposable trash. And the Japanese love for vending machines is only outdone by their love for packaging.
I happen to think Tokyo is the most convenient city in the world. It's so easy to get a meal, so easy to get something when you're on the run. But this produces a lot of garbage.
But where do all the machines go when they lose their shine and forget how to make the proper change? In Tokyo, old vending machines never really die. They go to a very noisy little factory on the edge of Tokyo Bay.
RETEM の CEO の中島です。どうもありがとうございました。
RETEM Company recycles personal computers and cell phones. Some of the work is done by hand, with a bit of old-fashioned elbow grease. But when it comes to the big stuff, like tearing apart vending machines and ATMs, there's no beating a 50-foot crane and a giant garbage disposal. It's a man-made gold rush, because locked inside the brains of all these dead machines are loads of precious metals. These workers can mine up to 1,500 grams of gold for every ton of trash. That is a high-tech gold mine.
From a company's point of view, a metal is basically a metal and can be used over and over again.
RETEM is doing good business, helping Tokyo keep a lid on its trash. In 2007, Tokyo city planners asked world-famous Japanese architect Tadao Ando to help turn a garbage island in Tokyo Bay into a green oasis called Sea Forest Island.
Tokyo has very little green space. With the high population density, we want more green. But there are few possibilities for us to create it, manage it, or touch it.
So far, tens of thousands of trees have been planted, and 250,000 more are in the works.
A large number of these small trees have been planted by ordinary citizens of Tokyo. All kinds of people come, and we all plant trees together.
Eventually, 88 hectares of garbage land will be covered with trees and grass.
In 30 years from now, these trees will have grown, and this will be a splendid forest. 30 years is one generation, the time for a child to become an adult. So our plan is to grow this forest not for us, but for our children and grandchildren.
For Sakita and his co-planners, Sea Forest Island is a huge success, but it also has a message.
The first lesson is not to produce so much garbage. This place should be a warning. We should say, stop making mountains of waste like this. These days, we try to avoid making such garbage mountains by recycling, reusing, and burning combustibles, and using the ashes.
Tokyo's visionaries and builders aren't just trying to save the world one chopstick at a time. They're proving that even the worst ecological problems, if met head-on with the right resources, commitment, and courage, can be solved. And that gives hope to every city.
Save the world. Don't throw the garbage.